Military base west of the Missouri River was built just over 200 years ago. It was a few miles north of Omaha at the site of what was called the Council Bluff.
It's part of our year-long We the People series, reflecting on moments and people who built our country. Here's John Chapman.
Fort Atkinson, the earliest U.S. military post west of the Missouri River, was established in 1820. After the site was recommended by members of the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Nebraska became a state in 1867, so just 40 years basically after the fort was here. The main purpose of the fort was to protect the fur trade. So the fort was here from 1820 to 1827. You got to remember what was going on in history at that time period. Louisiana Purchase was just signed, so we were expanding westward. But the Canadians and British were still in the area, and they still have a lot of influence over the fur trade.
The fort was the only government authority west of the Missouri, and at the time was a major military installation.
We had 1/4 of the U.S. Army stationed here. We had 1,100 soldiers. With that being said, we were Nebraska's first community, basically. First school, first library, first bowling alley, first agricultural. So we're very important in stepping stone for Nebraska history.
Jason Groff is the superintendent at Fort Atkinson State Historical Park. He tells us soldiers in the fort had a good relationship with natives in the area. Groff says members of the Omaha tribe actually saved the lives of many soldiers in the fort.
But in 1820, we had a bad scurvy outbreak. Scurvy is a lack of vitamin C. With their recommendations of ground nuts and wild onions, it actually saved the soldiers that were stationed here.
Fort Atkinson was eventually abandoned and the area converted to farmland. In 1961, local concerns sparked a drive to preserve and restore the area. The Nebraska Game and Parks Commission purchased the land and started a 20-year project to reconstruct the fort. Today, much of the fort has been rebuilt, and living history demonstrations are held here to show what life was like in 1820.
We try to teach the history, doing school tours and things like that. We want to promote the history and keep the history alive.
At Fort Atkinson in Fort Calhoun, I'm John Chapman, First Alert 6.
There are 4 living history dates remaining on this year's schedule, September 6th and 7th, and again on October 4th and 5th. For more information, call 402-468-5611.